Hey, American contractors, viewers of the American Contractor Show. I'm here with John Dye at Win the Storm, and I have to tell you, anyone that is associated with American Contractor Show, you are a badass.
Big shout out to American Contractor Show. If you don't know, you definitely need to check out the Storm Summit. They're doing it in excellence. Check them out.
Hey, what's up? This is your friend, Francisco Serrano. If you haven't checked it out, American Contractor Show, YouTube channel, Facebook channel, Twitter, Instagram, all the platforms, you need to go them, like them, start learning about your craft.
Hey, I'm Matt Danskin with Restoration Referral System. Check out the American Contractor Show. The truck that they've got is awesome. Everything else that they have going on.
This is Larry Bache with the Merlin Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Merlin Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
C3 was eager to help us, and even whenever we weren't giving them work, they were still eager to give advice. The things that they were putting out for the changing from DMO to RFG and giving that to the industry and not charging anything for it, I thought was really cool. And that's stuff that I as a contractor appreciate. I'd recommend C3 to any contractor who's looking for a PA, especially if you're around Colorado. Great guys, man. I'm nothing but happy with the work they've done for us.
Happy Friday, everybody. Lead meteorologist Sean Choquette here for a busy forecast day. Thanks to our sponsors, C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, and American Contractor Show. They're in the description below. You can check us out. Got a lot of stuff to talk about, so we're going to jump into it. And we're just going to be talking about today. So we have multiple rounds of storms possible today across Texas and Oklahoma. Large hail, possibly giant hail possible across Texas and Oklahoma as well. And again, the giant hail will likely be this evening. Possibly up to softball-sized hail in sections of southwestern Oklahoma and parts of Texas. And there's also some tornadoes possible as well. Two areas we're looking at. The main area that I have concerns for is probably going to be more towards the southeast and parts of Texas and Louisiana and Mississippi. There's also a chance for probably just one main supercell storm that could have tornadoes as well across the Red River Valley. So we're going to jump into what we're looking at for storm reports so far right now, just so we can kind of reference it probably tomorrow. We're at about 1,169 hail reports for the year thus far, and I'm thinking that number is going to go up at least, I'd probably say possibly upwards over 100 today. So we'll see how that compares to 2020 year to date once we check in again. Looking at those current conditions right now, so we're going to focus in on the area that's most at risk. So Oklahoma, from about Oklahoma City down to about south of Dallas. You can already see here, we've got some showers across sections of southwestern Oklahoma, but notice you got some clearing back in here. So you're going to have the area where we're going to have a lot of instability really build up as the clouds are clearing. And we also see some storms trying to form here. And this is actually going to be what could possibly cause storms in Dallas in the next hour or two. So we're going to keep an eye on this. It's very possible we may come back to do live coverage not too long from right now as storms are starting to already try to form off to the west of Dallas. Current temperatures elsewhere is very strange here for the Dallas-Fort Worth and for Oklahoma City. For severe weather in late April is 67 degrees in Dallas, not even 60 yet here in Oklahoma City. Very unusual for a severe weather event, but there's a lot of other dynamics at play. So the surface temperatures aren't as important as other factors that we are looking at for the forecast here. Dew points are really getting nice and high across a good chunk of Texas, and you can see I have it, green arrows here. It's all streaming to the north. So you see the 73 and the 70 and the 70 here in Corpus Christi, Houston, and San Antonio. That's all streaming to the north very quickly. We're already at 61 degree dew points in Dallas, 54 in Oklahoma City. The 60s are just now crossing the Red River as we're really getting everything in place pretty much the last second here for the potential for these storms. So this is a lot of moisture for these storms to work with, and we're going to see a lot of instability as well. This is the forecasted CAPE for today, so this is the available energy that storms have to work with. where you see the yellows, that's you're getting that higher levels of instability, and that also means you can have better chance for some hail here. So notice west of Dallas and southwest of Oklahoma City, you really see quite a bit of instability here at 3 o'clock, but hey, there's still enough in DFW for if any storms form in the next hour or two, you could still see some decent sized hail. And we push forward here to what we call near peak heating, near power hour, which is about 7. Here at 6 o'clock, you have quite a bit of instability here, and that's where the concerns lie for that tornado potential along the Red River, and also very large hail possible here. Anywhere highlighted where you see the oranges and the reds, that's where you're going to be that potential for that much bigger hail. And then as we push forward into the evening hours, quite a bit of instability even continues into the overnight here across Texas, and it will even further extend into parts of Mississippi, Louisiana, and Alabama. So it could be a pretty long day here for severe weather. So how is this transition to the significant hail model? Anywhere you see that darker orange, that's where you're going to see that better chance for the big hail. The big hail potential is really there, especially west of the I-35 corridor, and it does shift to the east. And notice here right at 5 o'clock, I have it stopped. That could be upwards of softball size hail there. And then as we keep pushing it forward, you can see there's actually some storm activity that minimizes this. But at 7 o'clock, it does have that chance for storms, possibly even towards Oklahoma City. And then getting later in the evening, any isolated development could have really big hail west of Dallas as well. And that all shifts off to the east towards midnight. So with that, the future radar, there's going to be a lot of stuff showing up here. This particular model that we have is called the high resolution rapid refresh model. I think it's a little overzealous on the amount of activity that we have right now compared to what's actually happening, but it gives you a general idea of what we're expecting. We zoom in here and you can see at 3 o'clock there's a lot of activity going on already. We have potential for some storms here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex at 3 o'clock, some storms southwest of Oklahoma City. Somebody asked about Tulsa. Tulsa has a little bit of a chance. I'll show you guys in the forecast map in just a moment, but I think I-35 corridor points west. This is where your best chance for hail is going to be. Pushing forward to about 5 o'clock, there's potential for some storms down by Houston, storms down by Austin, more storms off to the west of Dallas, and then right here, this guy right to the west of the Oklahoma-Texas border, that's going to be probably your biggest hailer of the day. That and probably this storm as well. These couple of storms here would be your biggest hailers of the day, and that could have your potential for some very, very large hail that we'll show you guys in a minute. And even at 7 o'clock, I mean, this particular run of the model is showing more activity in Dallas than what others have been showing. So if we get anything in the evening hours, especially in Dallas-Fort Worth, that could have bigger hail. Zooming in specifically about 9 o'clock here, you can see all this activity near Oklahoma City, along I-44 down towards Wichita Falls, and then this lead cell here, getting close to I-35, that could have that tornado potential pretty much riding the Red River. And then pushing forward to about midnight, everything turns more into more of a wind risk as we get into the overnight hours here on your Friday night. So that's that maximum hail size that we're going to see today overall. So this isn't just going to be in a specific city. I think softball size hail is going to be your maximum size today for your Friday, and I think that's really going to be focused in on the Wichita Falls, generally Wichita Falls area. So your most at risk city is Wichita Falls. I think you're at the highest risk for at least most impactful hail. You could have that potential for very large hail today. Oklahoma City and Shreveport, I have about the same level of uncertainty. I think for Oklahoma City, your problems may be the storms could end up being a little bit too far to your south that have hail. And so there will be storms in Oklahoma City this evening, but I do not 100% think we're going to see big hail with it. I think there might be more wind threat, more heavy rain and thunder and lightning. Shreveport, kind of the same deal. There's the potential that your biggest hailstorms could be to your south and you have more rain in the area. Dallas, I bumped you up to more moderately high just because I think you're going to see some hail today. I think the maximum size is kind of up in question. I think the earlier storms, we may actually have your best chance for hail, but that would limit the size potential from like softballs to more towards the golf ball size. Houston's fairly low, and then Tulsa I have here at the bottom. I think you have a low chance of storms. You have to have pretty much all the stars to align for you guys to have anything more than maybe a couple quarters this evening. So Here's your hail forecast map for today. I have it broken down here all the way from quarters up to over tennis ball size. Anywhere here in the southeast, that's going to be later on, but we're going to zoom in. We're going to show you the most significant area at risk, and I have Tulsa. You got that low chance for hail, like I had mentioned, up to quarter size. Oklahoma City, I do have that potential up to golf ball size hail. It is not impossible, though I think it's fairly low, but you just get down to about Lawton, and suddenly the chances for hail increases significantly, as well as does the size. Anywhere here in the hatched area, you got that much higher chance for hail. Wichita Falls, you got the high chance upwards of possibly softball size hail. Shifting to the south here, Dallas-Fort Worth, I got you that moderate chance for hail, again, upwards of golf ball size, but I do have the red here, that up to tennis ball size just off to your west. It's not impossible for things to bubble up and be a little bit larger than expected, but I'm saying for now probably about golf ball size. Further south, San Antonio, you have a pretty much boom or bust situation. If a storm can form that far south, it'd probably have some monster hail with it, but the chances of that I think are fairly low. So you have that low chance, high potential of up to tennis ball size hail for San Antonio. Houston, you could have anywhere probably from quarter to maybe golf ball size hail again. Potential, fairly low, but that hail size could be that risk level fairly low. The hail size potential is boom or bust for you guys. And then off to the east, this is going to be pretty primarily in the overnight hours for Shreveport, Jackson, and New Orleans, all low chance for that hail, generally quarter to $1/2 size. I think the wind and tornado threats are going to be much higher across parts of the Gulf Coast. So breaking it down to that city forecast, starting here in Dallas-Fort Worth from 2 to 7 p.m., expect a severe thunderstorm watch to be issued within the next 45 minutes. And maximum hail size, I'm saying golf balls. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I bust low on this, but I think golf balls is your maximum. I think you have a moderate chance of seeing at least quarters somewhere in the Metroplex, possibly even a high chance for that, and then low chance for larger than golf ball size hail. I think things have to kind of align just right for really big hail in Dallas-Fort Worth this afternoon. If any other storms form behind this initial activity, then yeah, your chances will increase, and we may have an updated forecast later if we have the time to do it. And of course, we'll do any live coverage through this afternoon if anything comes up. Going into that city forecast for Wichita Falls, I think you're the jackpot location potential anyway. 6 to 10 p.m. I have the extreme maxed out hail size here, upwards of 4 inches, maybe even bigger than that. A high chance of at least quarters and a moderate chance of it being bigger than golf balls. The only reason it's not any higher is just the fact that Wichita Falls isn't super big. It's very possible that the big storm we could see could be north of the Red River and be crossing through Oklahoma, possibly towards Lawton or south, or right through the middle. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that as well. And then finally, I have a city forecast for Oklahoma City from about 4 to 10 p.m. is when we're expecting storms to move through the metro here. Golf ball size hail possible, very similar to what I have for Dallas. I think Dallas might have a better chance of some hail today. I think the biggest mitigating factor for Oklahoma City is storms may stay to your south. I think Norman has a better chance of seeing hail than, say, Edmond, for example. So here at the office, may not see any hailstones, but University of Oklahoma might. Up to that golf ball size is your maximum. I do not expect anything bigger than that unless, again, we have some kind of little, I call weather accident. And then we have a quarter size hail, moderate chance, low chance for bigger than golf balls. I think, again, the stars would have to align to have that happen. So wind forecast for today, a little bit different looking than the hail forecast. I have two areas where you can have the strongest winds as a supercell thunderstorm turns into a line of storms like you saw on that future radar. That could have some gusts upwards of 75 to 80 miles an hour. Same deal here down to the south across central Louisiana all the way over to about Hattiesburg, and then starting about probably around Tyler, Texas. And then I also highlight here that tornado risk. So where we have the hatching is where I think the best chance for tornadoes will be today. This is conditional pretty much to 1 or 2 storms here across southwestern Oklahoma and over by Wichita Falls. You have that moderate chance for tornadoes. And then moderate chance from Shreveport all the way to Hattiesburg. I have to get off the screen here for you guys to see this. Moderate chance of tornadoes. And this is going to be the overnight hours. So after about midnight through about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Low chance, I did highlight Oklahoma City and Dallas. The chances of tornadoes there are fairly low. Not impossible, but fairly low for your Friday. So that's all I really have for today. I know there's a big risk tomorrow as well, but I just did not have the time to get you guys all set up for that. If I can actually, there we go, get it running here. So it's possible, again, time is the constraint with this. If we have a lot of activity happening this afternoon, I'm sure you guys want a lot of activity, then we'll be doing live coverage. I won't be able to put a forecast together. But if not, I'm going to try to get a forecast together for 5 p.m., give you guys an update, what we're expecting for the rest of the evening and maybe for tomorrow. And again, very conditional. If we're here, we're doing lots of live coverage, then hey, you know what? We'll have a forecast video for you tomorrow. So follow us on all of our social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Hit see first so you don't miss out on any live coverage or anything that we post here on Facebook. And you can give us a call today, 855-334-4245. Any comments, questions, or concerns, need a step of training, you want to get yourself off and running here before the storms happen or even right after they happen, we'll be here answering calls all day. And you can email us as well at info@hailtrace.com or visit our website for more details. Do those hail dances, guys. We may be back fairly soon here if we have storms moving through the Metroplex this afternoon. So keep an eye out on your notifications, and we'll see you guys later.